Welcome back to the North Mankato Community Update. I'm Anna Brown, and I'm joined by City Administrator John Harrenstein.
Good afternoon.
And Mayor Mark Dean.
Good afternoon.
How are you guys?
Very good. What a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. We are inside at Fire Station number 2 on Howard Drive in one of the bays. First, Mayor Dean, would you like to tell us a little bit about what's behind us?
Well, I do. This is the 1925 REO Speed Wagon, the original North Mankato fire truck that used to be service all the fires. It's still technically in service. The technology is a little dated now, but it is my chariot for the North Mankato Fire Department or for North Mankato Fun Days Parade, and so it is a classic piece of equipment and a historical piece of North Mankato, and it's really cool.
It is neat. Thanks for sharing. We are located right next to Caswell Park on Howard Drive, and we have some exciting news about Caswell sports.
We do have exciting news. So just like we had some early snowfall this October, we had a little early Christmas this year, and for the first time, North Mankato received some dollars from the bonding bill. So we received $2 million from the bonding bill that we will be able to use to upgrade Caswell Park and start the process of planning for the indoor rec that we've been talking about for the last couple of years. So this is an exciting next step in that process of evolution for this facility to turn it from a 6-month facility into a year-round facility. And we think that's really going to help generate more economic impact in the area. Right now, Caswell estimates between $6 and $8 million a year in economic impact to the North Mankato area, and we're hoping to see that double over the next 10 years as we go forward with indoor rec, which would bring indoor tournaments and those things that we can do, and then allow year-round businesses to service a year-round facility rather than a 6-month facility like we have now.
So the community started talking about indoor recreation 10 years ago, and big thanks to Mayor Dean and the City Council for supporting that effort, asking the voters to support it in 2016. This is a win for the voters, supported that ballot by 74% in North Mankato, and essentially matches any contributions that we'll be making to the Caswell improvement. So it's really a wise financial aspect of these Caswell improvements because we're getting matching dollars from the state of Minnesota to continue these improvements. So it's really good financially for the city as well.
And so thank you to our local legislators, Representative Brand, Senator Frentz, for really getting behind us and helping us with this. But most importantly, thank you, Ms. Harrenstein, for leading this charge because we got it done. And it looked like a long, dark road when we started, but we made some tremendous inroads, and the politics fell just right, and we capitalized on it. So thank you to everyone that was involved in that process.
As well as to the local sporting associations. They did a great job lobbying, has been meeting with us to talk about these improvements for over a year now. So it was just, like you said, an early Christmas present for us.
It is. Thank you. So we're very happy.
Yes. In November, at the end of the month, is Shop Small. The week of November 20th through the 29th, usually when Black Friday and Shop Small Saturday would normally be happening. That's going to be a week-long thing in Mankato and North Mankato. Can you talk a little more about that?
The small businesses in our community are really the backbone of the economy for North Mankato, and so we really appreciate people coming out and supporting our small businesses, especially this year, the way the pandemic has affected all businesses in the entire country. It's really important that people support their local businesses, and so we've got some great local businesses both on Belgrade Avenue and up on Commerce Drive, and we're really asking folks to come out and support those businesses. Mankato has the same thing going on. There's a passport, there's prizes, there's lots of things going on, so we hope you come out for that week. It's really being considered Shop Small Month now for all of November, but that week of the 20th through the 29th is really the where they'll be able to do that passport piece and have the prizes and stuff available. So we ask people to come out and just support your local businesses. They're your friends, they're your neighbors. We want you to help them, and they want to help you.
Yeah.
Great. Finally, do we want to give a little update on what's happening with the budget? It's budget season. City Administrator Harrenstein, you want to talk about what's been going on at the workshops and the council?
So we're at the tail end of the budget process between now and December. Where we'll finalize the budget. It was a good year for North Mankato, even in spite of the pandemic. Construction held strong. However, we do have some questions about state funding, and that may impact the 2021 budget with mid-year budget cuts. as well as just any other effects of the pandemic that we may not be aware of at this point in time. We proposed a 1.5% reduction in the property tax rate. However, that would have prevented any borrowing from going forward in continuation of our capital improvement program. The council asked that we reconsider that, and we've identified some capital projects on Cliff Drive and Harrison that may proceed next year if the council so chooses to later in this deliberative cycle. So overall, fairly steady. We were able to spread some of the good budget to the property owners and business owners who've been affected by the pandemic. We've been able to tighten our belt at the city and prepare for what's likely going to be a 5 to 10% cut in local government aid next year. We will see two, if approved by the council later this year, two increases in individual utilities, one in the stormwater, one in either the solid waste or recycling. The solid waste or recycling is $1 a month. The stormwater, I believe, is 50 cents a month. So pretty reasonable rate increases for funds that haven't had them for several years.
And that's a big, the big thing with the budget is we're trying to be conservative going into this year because we know it's going to be potentially a difficult year. But at the same point, while we had proposed the 1.5% reduction in the property tax rate initially, the cost of borrowing dollars is so small right now. Our last bond for all the work we did this year for our $4 million in bonds was under 1%, 0.98%. Yeah. So the council has taken on the idea that we would like to continue on with our capital improvement projects because that is our economic stimulus package for our local economy. We're going to have some dollars from the state to do some work up here at Caswell. We'd like to do some of those older streets that need some significant infrastructure work. Cliff, I think, has had 6 water main breaks in the last few years, so it's definitely in need of some TLC. And so with rates low and the opportunity to do some things, we will be conservative. We will not pull the trigger on anything until we see where the legislature ends with LGA and those things coming forward. But we want to have some things on tap so that we can inject some dollars into our economy. This last year, we spent $4 million on street improvements. It's the biggest amount we've spent in at least a decade that I've been involved. And so we saw some good work there, and we want to continue that. And so that's why we still think we'll be able to do a property tax reduction, probably about 0.75%, but still maintain the ability to have a couple of capital improvement projects. So we should be able to get our property tax rate down to in the 48%, somewhere in there, which will be about a 6% reduction over the last 7 years.
Big time.
We're the only jurisdiction that's reduced property tax rate in the last 10 years. And so we want to continue that trend. We know people are struggling economically individually, but we also want to be able to do what's right for the city and do the capital improvement projects that we need to. So this is really an opportunity to try and find that middle ground, and we will pull the trigger, appropriately as we can.
I think it's been a great deliberative process. The council's really engaged in this year's budget. As they are in all years' budget. This one's just a little different because of the pandemic and the effects of potentially losing some of our state aid. But what's really enjoyable from my perspective is there's good deliberation, good discussion, and I think we're headed to a budget that's going to be a very consensus-driven budget that meets sort of the aspirations of a lot of different elements of the community. And so appreciate your guys' efforts in that.
And to your point, quite honestly, the budgeting process has gotten a lot easier. It's a lot more transparent, so thank you to the staff for that.
You bet.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Thank you for joining us for the video. This has been the North Mankato Community Update. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.